Do you?
All right, listen, let me tell you. You might not know this, but if you take your hand, turn that off. If you take your hand and put it in front of your face and wave it back and forth as fast as you can, you may be able to create what's called an Arizona vortex. Look at that. I saw a bunch of... Did anybody see the vortexes? It just went shooting right back.
No, I didn't. I did not see it.
Who turned that light on down there? Did I turn that on?
Yeah.
Did you know?
Nope.
Okay, so this light's off, that light's on. I think we're ready to go. We're headed on down into the Mormon Stope, or what the miners call the glory hole. Let's go on down in there. Come on, folks.
No, we're fine. This is fun.
All right, don't run into anything in here.
Oh yeah, there's that guy.
There you go.
I've been in here.
Look aim it up at the ceiling up there. Look up there. The Mormon Stope or the glory hole. Come on in, kids. Come on in. There's plenty of room.
That's cool.
Room in here for
Look at that.
Oh, who's that?
That's funny.
Who's this?
Come on back. Oh, I'll tell you about him. His name's James Stevens. Come on in.
I want more interview.
And don't go back in that. Don't go into that cave. There could be rattlesnakes in there. I don't want anybody back in there.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Now, the glory hole of the Mormon. That's the miners called it the glory hole. It was 100 feet long. It had a 30-foot ceiling. And you got to remember, if we're 65 feet down in the earth and we've got a 30-foot ceiling, that means there's still 35 feet of earth pressing down on these timbers. And these timbers are a fine example of what was called square frame timbering, a shoring system devised by a German mining engineer named Pierre Ditzenheimer. Yes, Pierre Ditzenheimer was invited to America by Hoss Little Joe and Ben Cartwright of the Ponderosa Ranch. Now, I know this because I saw the episode of Bonanza on TV where they invited him here. Does anybody else watch Bonanza?
No.
Anyway, I guess Pierre had been studying the honeycomb of the honeybee. You know the cell structure of the honeycomb? Mm-hmm. All right. He was studying the honeycomb and he devised this method. All these timbers are the same length. They're the same dimensions. And they are notched in the same way on both ends so that they can be assembled without nails, spikes, screws, or brackets. Yes, they fall into place like Lego building blocks or maybe even Lincoln logs if you ever built anything with a set of Lincoln logs. Then they wedge the outside, the top and the bottom, and that external force creates a structural integrity that allows them to span great distances and rise many stories. At least that's the way it was supposed to work on Bonanza. Now, here at the Mammoth,
what's in there?
Turned out a little bit different. Yes, our mining engineer was a young man by the name of James Stevens. The story
Look
is
at that.
James Stevens came
That's not
to
real.
on the 4th
That's
of
cool.
July, 1898.
Don't.
He had a hammer, he
Is
had
it real?
a gallon of water, and he had
Real?
3
That's
cans.
real.
Now people say, what was he doing down in the mine alone on a minor holiday? Was he down there trying to steal some gold?
Yeah.
Well, maybe, but I don't think so. He had his hammer. The miners could come down with their hammers, they could tap on these timbers, and they could hear for sound.
That's not
They could
real.
also climb up into the heights,
Wow.
and they would hammer wedges into the cracks and crevices.
Oh my God.
they found. The
That's
next day
real.
They would return and inspect the floor. If they found a wedge lying on the floor, they knew there was some loose rock up above, and some attention must be paid. So anyway, James Stevens was down here alone, 4th of July, 1898, with his hammer, doing his job, when all of this timber framing failed. Yes, it collapsed. Walls and ceilings came tumbling down on him. Groundwater from below began to bubble up. I guess they disturbed an aquifer. The miners immediately ceased their celebration in the saloon. They came running down here to save James Stevens. Days passed. A week passed. I think it was on the 8th day. Can I borrow your stick? On the 8th day of the cleanup, the miners heard it was James Stevens. He was still alive. Yes, he had drank his gallon of water and eaten his 3 candles.
Wow.
You're right, Kyle is right. He didn't look very good, kind of like a pepperoni stick, but hey,
Yes,
they got him out of here, and there were no fatalities. Too bad they couldn't get the water out of here as well. I'll try to make it quick, folks, but the water was rising, and all the miners could do was man the hand pumps. Hand pumps. in July.
Yo!